All right, guys, welcome back. We're here for our round 3 feature match. On the right, we have Kevin Phillips playing Red Green Tooth and Nail versus Ryan Danley on the left, who is playing Grixis Delver. And Kevin's going to start off with Forest into Utopia Sprawl.
Yeah, so the Red Green Tooth and Nail deck is kind of scarily powerful.
Yeah.
I hear Emrakul and Xenagos together makes quite a frightening turn.
30 is more than 20.
30 is more than 20, and you unfortunately only start out at 20.
Yeah.
Also, turn 2 Garrick Wildspeaker
is real strong.
Yes.
I've been playing Mono Green Devotion in Legacy on Moto because that's the deck I can afford. But when you go turn 1 Arbor Elf into turn 2 make a Utopia Sprawl, make a Garrett Wildspeaker, like that just beats some
decks.
decks.
The thing is, like, also, you can. So the thing is, you can untap those lands and play like another Arbor Elf or like some play Kuros Follower. In this case, I think Kevin runs. He may run blue or he may be on the red version.
What I did recently, I've actually done this play a couple times, is Arbor Elf on turn 1 to turn 2 Utopia Sprawl, make a Garrick, untap 2 lands, and make a Reverent Hunter, which is the 1/1 who gets +1/+1 counters equal to your devotion to green, which makes him a 6/6.
Yeah.
So turn 2 6/6 and a Planeswalker, like.
So already a very solid start with Kevin with turn 1 Utopia Sprawl and turn 2 Evergrowth.
That's a lot of mana.
That's a lot of mana.
That's a lot of mana.
He's actually looking at next turn potentially casting just a regular Tooth and Nail, but like it's just at this point my guess is Garrick's gonna come down, maybe untap, maybe drop Nykthos Return, and see what we can do.
And Ryan just has Bloodstained Mire and Pass.
Well, Counter Squall does counter Garrick.
Our Mana Leak and Counter Squall are both real strong here. Are they
Fatal
both?
Push does not kill Emrakul though.
Were they both on 7 cards? You can target
yes,
it.
they were both on 7 cards.
You can target Emrakul.
You can't target it. It's protection from colored spells.
Oh, okay, my bad.
If Fatal Push was colorless, which I wish it was, it's not.
I was just trying to outline the fact that you can target any creature with Fatal Push.
You know what? I really wish they made the card in BFZ, the 3 mana complete disregard. It says exile target creature with a power 3 or less, but it's 2 and a black and it has Devoid.
Right.
I really wish it was just like 4 mana and it says exile target creature, but we have Grip of Desolation. Since Grip of Desolation has Devoid, it can exile Emrakul.
Strong.
Yeah, I mean I have to play it.
Overgrowth, so that generates 3 green.
That's 3 green right there.
Yep. And he's going to
use for another Sprawl
on the 3rd forest.
So we got 2 green in pool into
for a Fertile Ground.
Fertile Ground. So now we got nothing in pool, but we're gonna have a lot more.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're just gonna try to go for Entwine Tooth and Nail next turn.
Yeah. Ghost Quarter is so good against this.
So, yes. I think Kevin's just hoping Ryan forgets what he's playing against and just goes Tassiger or something pass.
You can't you can't tap out for a threat like that. You have to hold up counter magic.
You do.
Yeah, or unless you're casting like Thought Seizes and such.
Yeah.
It's scary. Seems real scary for a fair deck like Grixis.
What Kevin's deck also does is a very hateful thing, and that's I'm gonna Primal Command your land back to the top of your library.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tutor up a creature.
Okay.
And I'm gonna infinitely recur it because I'm gonna get Eternal Witness, get back my Primal Command.
Ryan's gonna Thought Scour targeting himself, and he's gonna mill over a Terminate and a Spell Snare. So that's another Grixis player who's playing Terminate in addition to Fatal Push.
Ryan does have a Mana Leak in hand, from what I saw. He's gonna go and Shock of Watery Grave and play. So he could have Spell Snare and Mana Leak or Counter Squall or whatever. He wants to play a spell this turn, looks like. He's going to be a Tassiger.
But he gets to hold up Mana Leak.
He gets to hold up Mana Leak, yep.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing. Unless Kevin can just make 12 mana.
Yep.
Which is also possible.
No, he had to...
Well, not this turn, but like...
He had to tap a Steam Vent, so he does not have Mana Leak up.
Ooh, Spell Snare's not going to save him here either. Spell Pierce is a possibility, but not really in the main...
It depends on what Kevin does.
Yeah, not really in the main board of the Grixis control shells.
Currently, Kevin has, just on the table, he has 3, 4, 5...
6, 7...
8?
I think he has 8. So yeah, Forest does it if he has 2.
Does the Fertile Ground add 2 or 1?
Fertile Ground adds 2, I believe. So I
he
think that's
has 9.
4. I think he does have 9.
He has 9, and then with the Wood of Hills, he has 10.
We'll see how he taps. Oh, so he is playing a blue version. That was a Cure.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. He's updated it to Rug.
So do you just jam it here?
Yeah. I mean, like, what are you afraid of? Like,
hey, Tassiger can try to block, but he'll never see it.
Tasker's a 4/5. He's a chump.
All right, Kevin, let's see it. Jam it.
Then again, he does only have 2 cards.
There it is.
So if like Ryan counters, but still, like he only has 1 blue up. So.
Yep.
And he's going to do it for 9. Oh, so Spell Pierce is live here.
He said,
but it resolves.
Go for it. All right, that's my Emrakul.
And then get Xenagos, and that's game.
And there's my Xenagod.
Yeah, and Ryan's just going to scoop him up. So, all right.
Put it in play, Kevin. We want to see it. There it is.
Kevin Phillips takes game 1 over Ryan Danley. My hotkeys are just all goofed up tonight. We need to fix that. So, going into sideboarded games, if you're playing Grixis against this monstrosity, what are you bringing in? What are you taking out?
Every land destruction thing possible.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them. Do you think he plays Fulminator Mages?
Maybe. That seems kind of like a little bit of a stretch, kind of like a slow play for the deck. I mean, Sean had Fulminator Mages off his board.
I think there's a very strong chance that Ryan and Sean may be playing the same 75 or close to it.
Fulminator Mage obviously very good in this matchup. Mm-hmm. Well, it also only destroys target land, doesn't it?
No, it's
non-basic.
It's non-basic.
So actually, it's not going to help you here because Kevin's going to be mainly just jamming forests.
Yeah, I mean, he has a couple shock lands, but he's not going to be putting his Utopia Sprawls on them unless he has to.
So cards like Crumble to Dust and Fulminator Mage can't really do anything here.
Fulminator Mage is non-basic, yes.
Yeah.
So counter spells.
Yeah, you just have to...
And hand disruption.
So yeah, you need counter spells. I need like Cryptic Command to bounce the forest.
This reminds me of our round 1 feature match, Mono Black Devotion against Tron.
Yeah.
Just like this fair deck that's trying to play like with creatures and disruption against the massive amounts of mana that.
So what Ryan also needs to look for is like, with his Cryptic Commands, like being able to bounce the forest to have all the enchantments fall off is something key. But he has to make it to turn 4.
Yeah, he also has to make it to where he can cast a Cryptic Command.
And that's sometimes tough for the Grixis Delver deck. With the modern meta that we have, it's kind of sad to think that getting to turn 4 is kind of a stretch.
Well, I mean, it should be with the recent bannings.
It should be a little bit better.
Should be a little, but we have seen some fast kills.
Yeah.
All right. So what about on the Tooth and Nail side? I'm not very familiar with what Kevin's sideboard looks like.
Kevin does have some counters. He does have like negate in the board.
That's probably not what you want to be doing.
Not necessarily. I don't know the full extent of Kevin's board. I know whenever I play him, but I play a degenerate deck, so you can either have sideboard cards or you don't. Yeah. So it's like.
So, Kevin's probably just going to assume the beatdown roll and just try to combo as fast as possible.
So yeah, he's got 2 motions. He can either go for the beatdown roll, or I'm going to go for Primal Command and try to put you out of this game by drawing a land each turn.
Yeah, I mean, and he could. That's already in his main deck, isn't it?
Oh yeah, 4 primals in the main because playing ad nauseum, it's tough. It's like this matchup's like not the easiest. Like most creature matchups are okay, but like this deck ramps so quick that it's able to take us out. But yeah, it sucks because I could have the combo kill in hand, and he could just go, all right, turn 3, I'm going to Primal Command your second land drop to the top of your library and tutor up an Eternal Witness.
And then you're locked.
Yep, I'm locked out of the game because he's going to go Eternal Witness, Primal Command your land again.
Kevin actually did that on camera a few weeks back in November or December. I can't remember. He did it against Ryan Wolf when he was playing the Saheeli Rai combo deck.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's hard to get out of it. Because eventually you just keep playing lands, keep playing your Fertile Ground, stuff like that, and eventually, all right, this Primal Command is now going to tutor up an Emrakul, and I'm going to hard cast it and take an extra turn.
You just do it until you have enough mana, and then.
All right, well, there's a turn 1 Delver.
This is the first. We've seen 2 Delver decks in a row, and this is the first turn 1 Delver we've seen.
I'm excited. Let's see what happens.
All right, so Ryan falls down to 18.
And we have a Shock Stomping Ground.
All right, and Kevin joins him at 18.
I don't think he's casting Lightning Bolt, though.
Probably not.
Looks like a Utopia Sprawl.
Yep. I guess he has to sometimes. Just depends on the texture of his hand. Reveal Lightning Bolt.
That's pretty good.
So that's interesting, Ryan. Well, okay, so he's going to.
I think he's just trying to. He's Arbor Elves, and I think he's trying to race it. Yeah. Just race the deck.
So you think Ryan's assuming the beatdown roll as well?
Oh, Ryan wants to be all in aggro. I think. Okay. Like, I mean.
All right, and for 3. Kevin's down to 15.
If you think about it, that Bolt now puts Kevin at 12.
Yeah. So and this is turn 2. You're right. If he has another Delver or a Young Pyromancer here.
Okay, Thought-Scour's going to be good. So it looks like he wants to go. He may have a Tassiger in hand.
I hope he's not digging for a land.
That was Kevin's head.
So he milled an island and something else.
And there's a Delta.
Yeah, and here's Delta. He can't quite make a Tassiger.
He can't quite make it this turn.
No, but next
But
turn
he can, if Kevin decides to go for like a Mana Doric, he can fetch, shock, bolt it, and then just start taking control of this game.
And he can also just bolt Kevin at the end of his
Yeah.
turn. Especially if putting that Utopia Sprawl on a stomping ground signals to me that Kevin has a bit of a weak hand.
Right.
So, I mean, Ryan may just aggro him out of this game, and then we might see a game 3.
I don't know. I really like the start from Ryan. I think it is definitely possible. His
So,
Voyaging Satyr,
yeah.
I mean, I just don't think if this gets bolted and Kevin,
especially if Kevin misses his land.
doesn't have a land drop, this game probably is already going to be over with how we have it.
All right, so Ryan fetches down to 17-15. They're tied now, right? 15-15.
They should
so
be
this game is
15 all,
even.
yep. This Voyaging Satyr is going to meet a Lightning Bolt.
And what's sad is that Kevin knows this is going to happen.
Yeah.
So this signals a really weak hand on Kevin's part. But I bet he may just need to rip lands.
Yep.
I assume he has a lot of powerful spells in his hand.
He has a Relic of Progenitus.
Yeah. That's not irrelevant against Grixis deck. I don't know.
Unfortunately, though, Danley does go Tassiger this turn. This game may just be sealed.
Okay, so 3.
Yeah, so
Kevin's
Delver's going to drop him down to 12.
Good man, Ryan Danley, keeping track of life totals for us. We're on it, though. All right, and...
Another Thoughtscour.
I wonder if... No, he's probably not missing a black since he fetched up another Steel Fence.
I think he just wants to get access to it.
Sean did do that last round.
Yeah. But he knew he was going to draw a basic swamp.
He knew he was going to draw the swamp. He knew it. All right, so
and there's
here's
a Water Eager.
Down to 12.
And that's going to be bad if he has access to, like, Counter Squall.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, if Kevin finds, like, an Overgrowth and is able to cast it and gets Counter Squalled, it's just going to be all downhill from there. Yeah, and that is potentially what he just drew. And it's kind of tough for this deck to go all in on one land also.
That was a Fertile Ground or an Overgrowth. It was one of the two. Oh, he can't. All right, he's got 2 mana.
He's got 2 mana.
But still, like, if he puts that on the Stomping Ground and then Ryan played, like, a Ghost Quarter.
That'd be awful.
Yeah. Just casual 3 for... Well, not even a 3 for 1, technically. All right, so 2, and he's going to...
There's a Sprawl.
Yep.
Counter Squall.
Yep, and then that'll take Kevin down to 10.
So we're going to have 1 in pool.
And I assume Kevin's just going to have to kick it back here. No, he has a Relic. He has the Relic,
And I'd probably just crack it
I
now.
crack it now to play around Tassiger and...
Well, I'd crack it now to try to draw a land, too.
Oh, yeah, you're right. My bad. No, he can't pay the 1 to draw because he's having more on pull. But, I mean, if you're afraid of Tassiger or Zombie Fish...
Zombie Fishes are very powerful.
Kevin's down to 7.
And if Danley has he does have a Young Pyro in hand. And another Delver, it looks like. I think Delver's just going to join the battlefield.
I'd probably just cast them both and try and put Kevin dead on the next turn. I mean, because what could Kevin really cast this turn that you have to counter? What's it? Well, his other card is a Bolt.
I think it's a...
Because if his card's a Bolt, then Kevin's dead either way. All right, so Arbor Elf.
Arbor Elf. Crack Relic.
Yep. Draw, hopefully, a land. Is he not drawing?
We'll remind him about that, I suppose.
Well, we may need to stop. Because you pay 1 and you sack it.
Yeah, you do draw.
Exile graveyard.
You do draw a card. I mean, okay. Yeah, we could stop it. I mean, do you think?
Well, if Ryan doesn't kill him right
I think it is. I don't think he's going to drop down to 4. I don't think it's going to matter this game, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think Ryan kills him right here. So.
Because Kevin is at 4. He's just kind of looking at his hand. He's able to play a Garrick this turn and make a Beast, but that's not going to be able to.
Well, I'm going to go because it's an easy fix. All Kevin has to do is draw a card.
So the Arbor Elf is going to help with casting Garrick. Garrick's going to untap the Stomping Ground, and I think Kevin's going to try to resolve another spell, but with Kevin being at 4, he most likely is just going to die to these Delvers, but we will see. And there's an Electrolyze, and that's going to do it. All right, so Game 3 is shortly underway. Ryan Danley taking that one.
Tied it up.
Tied it up indeed.
All right, so we're going to Game 3 where Kevin gets to be on the draw, and hopefully he will have more than one land in his.
So that's one of the sideboard cards we saw for Kevin, Relic of Progenitus.
I think it's a new card for him because he was not actually aware that you needed to draw a card.
Good card for this matchup, though.
Yeah, well, it is good because
I think it's made for like Snapcaster's Tasigur.
Snapcaster and Tasigurs, but I'm not sure if you even want to board against that kind of stuff. Maybe you just want to try and kill your opponent.
I mean, sometimes it's like all-in tooth and nail decks don't board at all. Like they'll have a sideboard,
Yeah,
but like it's like, you know what? That game 1 was so smooth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna run it back game 2 and see if he can see how his deck changed, and I'll edit mine game 3 if I lose.
Yeah, especially like being on the play. Like maybe you want to get rid of that stuff when you're on the play.
I can see boarding it in on the draw.
I mean, I don't play this deck, so I don't really know. That's just kind of how my mind is working.
I have 4 of those.
I'm wondering if Ricochet Trap is an option.
Is it in his sideboard?
Nail deck? Not that I know of. I was just thinking in my head like what I would want to board in here, and Ricochet Trap, because the only thing you're really afraid of is like counter spells.
Yeah, I really like Ricochet Trap. Unfortunately, the only time I've ever seen Ricochet Traps cast is in Vintage.
Out of Living In plays it in the side.
They do play in the side sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only time I've ever seen it, but like it's a great spell.
Yeah.
And it's a good clause. Like I'm currently jamming Ravenous Trap because everything just uses a graveyard these days.
All right, so it looks like they kept 7, and Kevin went
Elf,
Forest, now Arbor Elf, go.
Solid start.
And Ryan's fetching down to
so
17.
If you're Ryan, do you just immediately bolt this Arbor Elf?
Yes. I mean, you yes. Yes, you do.
So, yeah, it looks like Kevin does have Utopia Sprawl in hand, so it could be an explosive turn 2 Garrick hand if the Arbor Elf lives.
See what happens. He might, I would imagine,
Delver.
no, he just has a Delver. Okay. Apparently it's played in Scred as well. I'm not that familiar, but I can see that.
I can see that in Scred Red, yeah.
All right, so Forest, he has the blue-green Satyr in his hand.
So he can go Utopia Sprawl naming blue.
Yep. And then cast.
Yeah,
untap that and cast it.
Yeah, so.
What? It's the one that just untaps a permanent.
Yes, untap target.
All right, and then he plays a Voyaging Satyr. Woof.
Very explosive.
Lots of mana. So potentially on his next turn, he could add 7, at least 7.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I think he had another Utopia Sprawl in hand.
Okay, so he can probably hard cat.
So
he can probably entwine Tooth and Nail on his next.
There is a bolt in Ryan's hand,
which still that only kills one of these guys,
and that's not good enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, Delver serves in, and both players are at 17. Ryan played a Mountain, so he'll get to bolt one of these guys.
Oh, he's gonna let him untap.
Yeah, because I think Mana Leak is a scarier option for Kevin. And Counter Squall's off the table because Ryan doesn't have black. So,
I mean, but Kevin's making a lot of mana. So, like, not Counter Squall. Mana Leak's not going to stop a Garrick from entering the battle.
Not a Garrick, yeah. Like, it may stop an Entwined Tooth and Nail, but okay, so here's Fertile Ground on that same forest.
He's going all in on this forest. I mean, he can untap it 3. So that's the thing, though. Now that Ryan didn't, like, main phase bolt this, Kevin can just respond and float all this mana.
Does he just have a Relic in hand?
I think so.
I think you play that and crack it and try to draw something.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Just jam what you have. Play your outs.
All right, so...
Oh, he's attacking. All right, turn sideways. I'm down.
Not terrible, yeah. All right, so he's going to bolt the Kiora's Follower, and he's going to take 2 and go down to 15. And he's just going to hope to draw something worth casting. Although I still like playing the Relic.
I like playing Relic, crack it, and draw a card.
Yeah, because if you draw a Garrick or a Tooth and Nail or a Kiora...
Yeah.
All right, so here...
So here's that. He's just like, not even going to put it on the battlefield, and maybe I'll just wait.
Since you already attacked, you might as well wait, I guess. All right, so Ryan's going to draw Counter Squall.
He has a Spell Snare in hand.
And for 3, down to 14.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe that wasn't Spell Snare. It was maybe Snap. I think he's got 2 Snap Catchers in hand.
Okay, so the Relic's looking good. Alright, so Kevin's going to untap, hope to draw some business. Even losing that Kior's follower, he still has an absurd amount of mana.
Alright, let's see. Nope, gonna be a forest. I think you have to crack Relic here.
I'm greedy. I just want to crack the Relic and try and draw something worth casting. Because attacking for 2 here doesn't seem like a great option.
Right. Because you're not going to be able to race this Delver.
No, because I mean, you got to assume that he's got bolts and Kolaghan's commands, and if he plays Young Pyromancer and starts making tokens, then you can't even attack anymore.
Right.
And I mean, it's rough, but in almost anything you draw, you're going to want to cast, even just another Arbor Elf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here you go.
All right,
I think we're going to see that happen.
So we're going to crack it, exile graveyards, draw a card. Forest?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to attack for 2. Ryan's going to fall down to 13.
Well, if Ryan gets aggressive here, though, Kevin can punish him if he top decks a Tooth and Nail.
Yeah. Ryan also missed a land drop and is missing black mana.
So there's a Thought Scour. That may help with the land issue.
So he's going to mill over Polluted Delta.
Yes.
It kind of looked like a Misty, but I'm not.
Double Pyro, negates in hand. So that's just a hard counter.
Yeah. So he may just try and ride the Delver and hold up negate.
I think that's going to be his plan because he knows he's racing these 1/1s.
Which he's winning that race. All right, so Kevin's down to 11.
So it's like Woodful Hills was the draw.
So he has 2 lands, it looks like.
Yeah.
It looks like he was showing it to somebody watching. And he might as well attack. Ryan's down to 11.
If you can build up enough mana just to cast Emrakul.
Yep.
You never know. And then fetching will be able to thin his deck a little bit here and help him out.
You can't negate an Emrakul.
There's another Thought Scour. I mean, Kevin on a 4-turn clock unless Ryan finds a bolt.
Tassiger and Thought Scour, and he drew a card.
Yes.
Untap.
This has been a rather quick round, by the way.
Oh yeah, we might actually get a second match down here. All right, Delta. So there's the black mana. So he's got Counter Squall.
His hand is just loaded.
And that Counterspell Squall is especially good because it's going to take 2 more damage.
Yeah.
I
mean, having 2 hard counters in hand is just strong.
That'll change if he gets to counter something. That changes the clock too. Yeah.
Something even as simple as just like a Utopia Sprawl.
We've been talking this whole match about how it seems like a really good matchup for Kevin, but the Delver deck is just doing Delver things now, and it seems really hard for Kevin.
Being resilient.
Yeah, and he's just had that Delver draw where he's played a single Delver and is just casting spells. And here's Tassiger.
Yep.
And he feels safe to cast it since he can leave up negate.
Yep. I'd feel safe to cast it too.
Yep, that seems fair to me.
Unless my opponent casts Emrakul.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't negate or counter squall that anyway. All right,
yes.
so Kevin's going to fetch down to 7.
Hoping the top decks are in Kevin's favor.
Yeah, but, I mean...
So Kiora Master Depths is not a bad draw here, because you can prevent all the damage...
From the Delver.
And
block the Tassiger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so he has a black splash now. So he's Berg. He's Berg Tooth and Nail.
Berg.
We'll have to update that for you guys.
Wait, can we call it Brug instead?
Well, Berg is actually an old term. They're the 4-color Delver decks. They used to call them the Berg Delver decks.
Berg Delver.
Yeah. Hi, Master B Gamer 14. What's up? Thanks for joining the chat. If you're just joining us, I'm Ryan O'Loughlin. This is Daniel D'Amato. We're broadcasting our weekly modern F&M out of Four Horsemen Comics and Gaming in the Morgantown Mall in Morgantown, West Virginia. So if you're in the area, come down to our F&Ms.
There's an overgrowth and a forest.
And Kevin's going to...
He's lost the will to battle.
I mean, he's probably just a little disenfranchised with how many lands he drew.
Oh, and God, that was
he has a lot of all mana.
Yep.
There's a Garrick.
That's
but still, the Garrick doesn't...
Look at that.
There's a Tooth and Nail. Oh, yeah, that was...
he runs... like 3 or 4 harmonized too. I couldn't find any of those.
Or the green command, primal command.
Yeah, it's a tough draw for Kevin.
Yeah, I mean that's just going to happen sometimes. But congrats, Ryan Danley taking the match 2-1 over Kevin Phillips with Grixis Delver over Berg Tooth and Nail. I wonder what the black's for.
Maybe surgical extraction or Thoughtseize.
Probably, maybe. I'm not sure. It's probably some sort of sideboard card.
I mean, you wouldn't splash black for a dismember.
Yeah.
So.
But we're going to try and get another match under the camera for you. Maybe we can grab a Game 3. But if we don't see you until round 4, remember, if you're in the Morgantown area tomorrow, Modern Tournament at noon, $20 to play. First place is guaranteed $200 in cash. Should have a good turnout. We're excited. It's going to be a great event.
It'll be fun.
Hopefully we'll be right back with another match.